Hello. On this episode of the Inventive Marketing Club, we are going to focus on unconventional websites. These are websites that go beyond the standard typical format. They've got innovative designs. And what we're going to do is look through these websites and maybe discuss the benefits of their strange and interesting designs and some of the drawbacks that we might come across. Joining me is Claire. Claire, you've picked many of these for us. You've gone through and found some very interesting websites.
Yes, no, well, I found us a selection of sort of very different websites, but I must
Mm.
admit this is one of my favorite ones. I just think there's a lot of confidence in just showcasing their product. It's very simple, and there's something really sort of therapeutic and calming about it. So, what are your thoughts?
It's lovely. I mean, I could just sit and watch it like this. Um, it's I've not used this technology. It's like a JavaScript tool to plug into your website to allow you to do parallax scrolling. And I've just left it, and my mouse is off the screen, and it's just doing its own thing. It's like a video. It's lovely. But you bring your mouse on, then the parallax moves around, and the animations continue to happen in the background. I was earlier waggling the screen to see if those clouds would wiggle on the wires that they're on, but there's no sort of physics engine involved in this. It's just a simple parallax. I say simple. It's reasonably complicated to do this sort of thing, but it looks lovely, doesn't it? This playfulness of moving the mouse around and the things react to it. And for me, I love the way it looks. I mean, the design is lovely, and they've got, is that a famous picture of the wave in the background? Um, the way it's put together is really nice. It's a lovely style, and it demonstrates the product, which is, I think, really key to this website. So they're not just using it just for a bit of fun; they're using it to demonstrate. I think it looks lovely. I have seen this on other sites, and it gets a bit frustrating when everything's moving around, especially when they don't get the speeds right and things move too quickly. It doesn't feel realistic. Whereas this, I think everything is tuned perfectly. I love it. It's a good find. You know, it actually reminds me of back in the early days of Flash programming on websites. I don't know if you remember those, Claire, where the only way you could do this sort of thing is with using Macromedia or Adobe Flash, as it then became, to actually code all this stuff together. You can obviously do that. You can do it in JavaScript more easily now, and it's much more acceptable. But I remember the agency I was working for at the time, we built a parallax scrolling website a bit like this. And it took ages to figure it out. So this is be so much easier to use this sort of code. Okay, so this is a lovely site, and I think it does set us on. I think this is a good place to start. Tell us about this one.
I think what I wanted to sort of kind of share from this one and the first one is that your sites can be moving. They can be done in a completely different layout. You don't have to sort of be stuck in a rigid template, which a lot of us tend to follow. So I just thought it'd be interesting to kind of share what other people are randomly doing.
Mm. And this site doesn't seem to do anything. It just gives you the impression, if you were just to look and stare at it, particularly if it's filling your screen, as if you are falling, tumbling through all of these colors. And so it's quite mesmerizing, but as a website, it doesn't actually achieve anything. And I know we're going to come across another website that does point you in the direction of various different websites like this that don't seem to have any objective apart from just being what they are, a bit of fun. And actually, this reminds me of the good old days of the web where people do experiment, and I was sort of part of this, where people would make websites just for fun. So I do love this. But you're right; it's easy to fall into this trap of building a website that is logo, menu, sliding header, or video, full screen video at the top, scroll, and then you've got the usual information about the company. It's nice to experiment. It is I think it's nice having that template because people do become familiar with it. They know where things are, they know where the menu is or where the mobile menu is. But sometimes it's nice to break those conventions to stand out, to be remarkable. Then there's this one, which is the electricboogieWoogie.com.
Yes, so this is the digital version of an artist's piece of work. I believe you've got the other
Yeah, I'll
um,
scroll to it here.
from the MoMA. So this is a way of bringing something that's quite static alive, which I think is quite creative and interesting to do, but a bit like the Falling Room, apart from sort of, visually enjoying it, there's not a lot else that they're achieving in that. So there's no other information. But I think, again, it's just to show that you can have movement, you can be different, and websites can be used in really diverse different ways to showcase work. It doesn't have to just be about business.
Yeah, I mean, when I first saw this, it is interesting. I didn't actually look at the article straight away, so it ties the two together nicely for me. When I look at this, though, I think, well, this could be a video, so it could be shared on YouTube or accessed in different places. So it's like, why has this been made into a website? Is it maybe a technical challenge for someone that they've tried to create this piece of artwork so it's got some randomness to it. It's automatically generated. I haven't looked behind the scenes to see how it's made, but I would imagine that's the purpose of it. It's a technical challenge for someone to see how far they can stretch their capability. So I like it from that front.
I would imagine it's unique on every viewing.
Moving on, let's go to a site that will help take us to many useless websites. I think this is great. So I don't know what we're going to get. We might have to cut if it's rude, but I assume it's not too terrible. But this is a website called theuselessweb.com that Claire found.
Then I love it because I think it's taking the mickey out of how people fall into the rabbit warren tunnel of reels and, scrolling on their phone. So they take you to well, you never get the same site twice. So I'm interested to see what we get.
Yeah, should we push the button?
Go
Okay.
for it.
Whoa.
Oh,
So this is called puginarug.com. And if you look carefully, you can kind of see a pug dressed up in a rug. And
yeah.
why not? That's the domain name. So let's deliver what is expected. With this, I don't know what you call that effect, but it's basically sort of zooming outwards, but in images behind
Kaleidoscope.
it.
Yeah.
And it says at the bottom, you've been honoring the pug for 30 seconds. You are a master honorer. Is that about right? I'm an S tier honor of pug. Oh, I see. So the longer I spend on this site, the more my tier of honorer goes up. Interesting. Interesting. Well, I want to stay on for 60 seconds now to see if it actually goes up even further. Oh, it's a useless web project. So I wonder if these guys actually, whoever put together the useless web project, useless web, they actually create lots of these different ones to pull them together. Interesting idea. Okay. Oh, we've got a bit of parallax scrolling going on there as well. Lovely. Let's look at another one. So you're right. This is just like TikTok, isn't it? Where you can say, "Oh, what's
Yeah.
next? What's next?" Because you have no
Yeah.
idea. There's no control. The long dog Doge challenge. Yes. Your Doge is wow long. You've collected 4 wows. Okay, I guess a scroll. Yeah. Wow. 10 wows. Okay, so I guess I can keep going. We've got infinite scroll here. Okay, so I can just keep scrolling. Just keep. And I
What?
guess it's just going to keep going. So it's now down to how much I want to grind. This is definitely the sort of thing my kids might play. They love grinding in games and just doing pointless jobs to earn in-game credits. So these are kind of in-game wows, in web wows. And then what have we got here? Click to print. Yeah, you probably won't. I don't think you can see the print dialog, but it's basically come up with a print dialog where I could print it out if I wanted to.
That is a lot of pages.
One more before
Yeah,
we go
one more,
on.
and then we'll
Okay.
have to wean ourselves off.
Mondrian and me. Okay, very relevant. Nothing here. Do I need to click? Oh, okay, right. So I'm making a Mondrian.
Ooh, that's cool. I quite
Oh, I
like
want
that.
to fill it with color. I can't actually choose whether it fills with color or not.
Oh, it's
Oh, that's it. Split the color. Oh, look at that. Yes, nice. Interesting. I wonder what rules they're following for that. Is it just where I'm clicking? Okay, well, that's my afternoon gone, but we better move onto this. I actually did have a little bit of fun playing with this. So when I looked at it before, and I actually sent it to my kids because I think they'd find it quite fun. The aim is to it gives you something to draw, and you have to draw it, and there Google's neural network is trying to work out what it is you're drawing while you're drawing it. And I think the idea is you've got to try and draw it in the smallest amount of guesses. But anyway, should we give it a go?
yeah, let's go
See
for
if
it.
you can guess what it is, Claire. A broom. Okay, let's try that. Right, so sticks broom and then we have this.
Oh, it's like
Broom
fake.
like
Oh no,
that.
okay.
No,
That's
come on. Come on, that's a broom. All right, I don't know.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's the first one I've got wrong. So what it's giving me in the background, I don't think I'm sharing it, is the audio, so I can hear it talking in a computer voice, basically based on the subtitles saying on the screen. A picture frame. Okay, I got this one. So let's do that. Yes, hat. Oh gosh, right. That's a hat. What else can I do to it? Let's put a little.
Feather
I don't know if it's
or a
going to
flower.
help. No. Okay.
Oh,
Parrot. Okay, let's give this a go. Right, so let's do a parody head.
it's coming up with some.
No!
It's just going through random words. A shark, a mailbox. I see
Oh, it
bird.
got bird, yeah. Draw a horse. No.
It's
Right,
giving
this is going to
some
be
gardening.
awful.
Yeah, a garden hose, a fork, snake, trumpet. Oh, it does look like a dog bin. A hospital. Okay.
Okay, one more. I'll get this one, surely. Okay, circle at the top. Oh, that's awful. It's really difficult drawing with a mouse. Yes. Right. So what I remember is you can click on these and you can see what it thought they were and other people's drawings. So
Oh,
when it said the words kangaroo, what other people's drawings were.
yeah.
Oh, I did really badly on that one. The first time I did it, it was really good. Anyway, we could do that. I could actually spend a lot of time doing that. I'm really frustrated. It's really difficult to draw with a mouse. Okay, let's move on to this is an interesting one. Zombie Passions. It actually looks like a really bad site, but the idea maybe it's a bit interesting.
Yeah, so I kind of picked this one out because it's about being niche, it's about being different. So although it's a
Mhm.
dating site essentially as standard as any dating site, it's slightly more memorable because it's zombie themed. So anybody that's passionate about zombies and wants to find another zombie lover, I don't know whether there's like a niche of people that I don't know that zombie, like how there's like there's Swifties, are there like zombies?
Yeah, people who like dressing up as zombies or who like
Yeah.
zombie films. I no, and actually the idea having a very hyper niche site is great. I actually think the execution is awful on this. It
Mm.
just looks like any site, and it makes me think: is it just because it's got groups of sites here? Is it that they're just making loads of different sites to make some kind of SEO Google juice ring? I don't
Yeah,
know.
probably.
But actually, is that an idea of having a sort of niche dating site for zombie and zombie lovers? Great idea. But it should actually have some better pictures on here. So great idea, but actually very poor
I
execution.
wonder if their profile pictures are of them dressed up as zombies. That would be
Yeah,
interesting.
we haven't dived into this. I didn't want to sign up or log in to
A
it,
little
so I
bit
haven't really
nervous
taken it further
signing up.
forward. So I'm not going to click on any links now.
Yeah.
Um, let's go on to this one. This is quite nice, a bit more conventional in terms of the style at the top here. So
Mhm.
you got your menu, you got your logo, but actually this is nice. Love the graffiti over the top.
I love the color as well.
Yeah, it really pops out, doesn't it? And again, very relevant to the site. Getting a bit more, it is more standard, but done in a lovely way. What I really like, actually, this gallery here is done really nicely. So we've not just, he could have just gone for a standard gallery, bang, 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 rows and columns. But we've gone for a couple here, but then we've got some designs sat in the background here. We've got this one, which is slightly underlaying, little designs over the top. I really like the way this has been put together. It's nice. And
Yeah.
then, they've got their sort of link list to other places.
There's a real warmth to it as well with the color choices, and it just feels really friendly and welcoming. I think a lot of sites these days are quite sort of clean and can be clinical, whereas this gives a lot of personality about the artist and individual. So I think
Yeah.
it's a really nice representative of them and their creativity.
So this is poochfad.com. I like it. I like the big text as well. I find a lot of people want small text, very difficult to read. Might look visually cleaner. I think it's really hard for people to read. So I love that. Everything stands out really nicely. I think it's actually quite nice. Simple site does the job pretty well. Nice and funky. Love the colours, the way they pop from each other. Or actually, the way this colour on top of the green. It's not like super high contrast, but actually there's something interesting about it where the colours are blending together, certainly for a meeting with them as well. If we want some graffiti made using Calendly. Great. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so this is a creative agency.
Yeah, and it's really slick. Again, they're really bold and confident in their output, and that's what they're showcasing. And I love the confidence, I think, because you can very quickly and easily see what they're involved in and the quality of output that they'll deliver.
Yeah,
Um,
and you've got that bold statement on the left-hand side. We are a creative production studio. I love it. Just stating what they do. I'm not sure where the logo is. Is this their logo down the bottom here? Yeah, I'm
yeah,
guessing
that's
it is. So it's really actually focusing on their client's work and then just saying what they do. I think that this looks quite nice. It is actually still quite conventional. A lot of people do this now. I know, I think we mentioned in the previous one, Thomas Studio and Architects, they've got a nice full screen image that we made for full screen video, reasonably quite simple content over the top, with some simple key links to move forward, but it looks nice. So it's not so innovative, but I like what they're doing here. They've really stripped things back. So you can just scroll down. So it's one of these sites that uses a lot of heavy parallax scrolling in the background. I love the way here actually they're using a video in the background, then using, I can't remember what the feature is, but it's a CSS feature that will change the color blending of the text.
Mm.
So basically to allow that to shine through. I think that's what they're doing there. But that just looks really nice. And actually the video in the background is just an interesting visual, but it brings the text to life.
Yeah, it's a dynamic online portfolio rather than necessarily um, listing the services they provide. They're just showcasing their portfolio, aren't they?
Yeah. This is really a site that you would go to. You've been driven there from a referral or social or however someone's given you the link or it's been passed on. You land on here. It's just really about the company. You kind of know what to expect. Um, it's not really sort of introducing what they do. It's not a site you're just going to land upon randomly while you're looking for agencies necessarily. I do like the visual style. What I find slightly annoying, certainly on here, is a little bit of judder. I don't know if that's to do with my computer. Um, and I do find that a problem sometimes with sites that overuse JavaScript. They're very heavy on it. That actually, unless you've got a high performing laptop, you can sometimes struggle. I mean, I can, while we've been doing this, I can hear my fan going up. Now, Zoom will make my fan on my computer go up anyway. Bringing any of these JavaScript heavy websites up does that. But I think they've used it in a reasonable way here. It's not over the top. There's not too much animation going on. It's not too crazy. It actually looks pretty good. And they're not hijacking the scrolling too much. I do find there's some sites where you're scrolling and then the content on screen doesn't seem to follow the mouse, and it feels weird. That's kind of hijacking the content scroll, and I think you should never do that. You should never make it feel that people aren't in control of the motion of a site, because you're taking away that control, and that's the whole point. So yeah, it's a really nice one actually.
Yeah. Well executed.
And then finally, one of our clients, the Falcon House. This is quite different in terms of its design and the way we're laying it up. It's laid out on here. Everything is done in picture frames. The reason we did this, they got loads of postcards and testimonials and cards, which they pinned up on the wall in the sort of main breakfast area, the main communal area for their B&B, and they pinned them up on the wall. And when Al was working with us, and Al sort of mainly designed this site, we were looking at this wall going, this is lovely. We'd like to take the idea of this wall and bring it onto the website. So that's how we got here. And rather than us copying these testimonials into text, we thought, can you just give us a photograph of it? And we will, even if it's got bends and creases in it, that's great. It makes it look real. And then we will hang these testimonials, postcards, pictures on the wall and then integrate the text with it. And the way it's been done was quite clever from Al's behalf. Is like I think we're using the WP Bakery block editor at the time for this. But you can actually, when you add an image, you can assign it a different picture frame. So you can choose a picture frame to fit. We've got loads of different ones loaded in for different colors, different sizes, different ratios that you can choose things behind. And I think it looks really nice. And this site, I actually can't remember how old this site is, but it's quite a vintage, but I think it still looks good.
Yeah.
We've actually I've not felt the need to tweak this site. Certainly, Barbara and Nathan, the owners, haven't. And it's not because it's not working. It's a lovely site. It's different, but yet it's not too far removed from a conventional site. I think people can navigate it. They've got lots of lovely content on here. But what's lovely about the Falcon House is they've got some owls. They love their owls, and when we went to see them, we got to meet the owls. So we wanted to bring them into it as well. So we said, yeah, you've got to feature the owls on here and talk about them. And they have blog posts when they have new owls. They bring them on.
Oh, a lot
Love
of
it.
owls. I never really
A lot of owls.
appreciated that.
I don't know if they're all still with them anymore, but there's also something else about the Falcon House, which if you drive past them, you'll see they're in Herefordshire, sort of coming from the south end of Herefordshire coming in. They have a flag, which I think they change every week. So they always have a flagpole outside the front of their beautiful house, and they change that every week. We haven't represented on here. It would just be another difficult thing to do. So we wanted something that brought through that. It's bringing their character through. Because if you meet them, they've got character. It's a nice character. The building's got character. The owners have character. And it's trying to bring that through without having a garish site. Without having a site that's got too much going on. So it's that
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
this
that's
works
what
really
I would
well.
say about this site is that there's a lot of personality and sort of charm, which I think you'd probably get from the bread and breakfast as well. So it's about kind of being memorable and different, but in a sort of slightly niche way.
Oh, well, they haven't got the flagpole outside here. We can't see it, but it's just outside their house. Yeah, absolutely. And I think for us, it was being memorable, different, bring through that character in a way that fits the outside world with them. I think works really nicely. I love it. I don't think there's nothing I'll change about it now, ever since we built it. So it's definitely one to showcase. And I wish we could do more interesting sites like this. I know we have the controllers as when we're doing web development to do that, but sometimes it's working with a client. We want to push things a little bit, and maybe they're not so confident. So maybe we do need to just step outside and say, look, let's just try something, see if it works. Maybe not go as far as some of the ones we see on the useless websites, or maybe some crazy parallax like that. Allowing the website to reflect the business and reflect product, I think is key. Brilliant. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for watching this episode of the Inventive Marketing Club. You can learn more and find all the other great episodes that we've got going on, or you can join us at ratherinventive.com/club. That's ratherinventive.com/club. Bye for now.